Today I'm reviewing a shoe that caught me completely off guard. This is the Hylo Athletic Impact. This shoe in this review is different because Hylo isn't just making great shoes, they're doing something totally different in the sustainability space. I put in my usual 50 miles and workouts into the shoe, and I'm going to give you the real story. So, how did I even hear about Hilo Athletics? Well, I have a friend in the running shoe business, Stan. He's been in the business forever. He's working to launch a lot of premium brands, including making Garmin the hit that it is today with running stores. Well, he has been really helpful to me over the past years, giving me advice about Peregrine growing in the running industry. And I had lunch with him. He was in Atlanta for a conference not too long ago, and he is now running the sales operation for Hilo. And he said, George, you need to put on this shoe. You're going to love it. He was wearing it while we were eating lunch that day. And I said, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to purchase these shoes and we'll see what happens.
All right, let's talk numbers first, the stuff that we really want to know about. So, the weight of the shoe is, I show 10.3 ounces with the laces in. The website shows 9.9 ounces because they typically measure with the laces out. The stack height is 33 millimeters here. The drop is 8 millimeters, and that creates a forefront height of 24 millimeters. Now, in comparison, that's really similar to the other athletic trainer that I use, which is the Nike React Infinity. This actually is a little bit lighter. It's about an ounce lighter than the Nike, but the drop and the heel height are about the same. I'm a big fan of the drop in comparison to the Saucony gel shoes that are flatter. The drop creates kind of that dropping, well, that drop effect that creates that rocking effect, which helps you run forward. So, really good shoe, good stack height, and drop right in that sweet spot. Now, in my experience, the shoe definitely does feel like 9.9, 10 ounces when you're running in it. It's not the lightest shoe in the world, and the way it's built, I feel like you can definitely feel like you have a heavier trainer on your foot, but that's fine. I think the balance of it is just fine. The midsole uses their Hyperbolt technology, which is a type of EVA foam, which is pretty common in most of the trainers. This one uses supercritical nitrogen to really get a nice, even distribution of the foam. But what's different about these particular guys is that they use a bio version of EVA for part of their sustainability mission, because a big part of their story is run like the world depends on it.
By the way, this is the Peregrine running shoe database. I'll include a link to this in the video, but this is where I keep track of the notes of the different shoes that I reviewed. And I included the high-low results here that I just talked about, and you can see how that compares to the other trainers that I typically run in, especially very similar in terms of drop to both the Gel Cumulus and the Nike React Infinity. And I got that mixed up. Sorry. The Saucony Endorphin is the one that had a very little drop, which wasn't my favorite because of that.
Now, what makes Hilo really interesting is their sustainability story. First, is it a good running shoe? That's what you have to ask for yourself. And the second is the sustainability part of it. Because as Stan mentioned to me, most running shoes that we use end up in the landfill one day. They're not made to break down. Hilo is different. The upper part of the shoe is not made from petroleum based nylon, it is made from plant based nylon. It's actually made from castor beans, which is interesting. So it's not petroleum based. The foam, as I mentioned before, is an EVA foam, but it's not made from petroleum and plastic. It's made from plant material. And the entire shoe is part of the high loop platform they have, which is a recycling platform that keeps the shoes out of landfills.
Now, for what you really want to know, how do these actually run? I put just over 50 miles on these shoes across three different types of runs: my long runs, tempo runs, and some track workouts. Here's what I think. For long runs, which is at an easy pace, these shoes really shine. That stack height gives you plenty of cushioning, without feeling too mushy. I will say though that they do feel a little bit spongy. You can feel like your foot is sinking into the shoe, which is a great feeling for the long runs, but for the tempo runs, a little bit different. The ride is smooth, and honestly, after the first few miles, I didn't even notice that the weight of the shoes were there. I did a 13-mile long run in these shoes. The fit is comfortable after 50 miles. There's no hot spots, no weird pressure points. The uppers breathe well. They breathe well enough for these longer efforts. Now, tempo runs. This is where I was the most curious. I wanted to know if this trainer could handle faster pace efforts where I'm running at below half marathon, maybe closer to 10K pace. And what I would say in my experience, having done one tempo run, is yes, with the caveat. So the shoe can definitely handle the quicker paces. But what I do notice is that in my experience, having a little bit more of a cushioned shoe, and it does feel like your foot sinks into the foam, feels really great on the long runs. On the tempo runs, also feels great because you get that cushion. But what I typically prefer is a little bit more responsiveness in the shoe, a little bit more of feeling that ground where I'm impacting and pushing off. The high-low, I feel like, doesn't give you that because it's more focused on cushioning that. And that may be what you're looking for. But what I look for in a tempo shoe or a faster shoe is a little bit of knowing that my foot's hitting that ground and pushing back. So you don't get that with this shoe. Lastly, track workouts. Yes, of course, you can do track workouts in these shoes. I would say that they are really great trainers, good for tempo runs, good for cruise intervals. For track workouts, I think most people prefer a lighter shoe that's a little bit quicker for those faster runs. That's not this shoe, but I don't know if it's designed to be that. That being said, you can definitely wear this shoe on track workouts, and you're going to get that support that you need. After 50 miles, the shoe looks great. When I look at the upper, it's dirty, should be dirty, but I typically blow shoes out right over here. I'm not seeing any of that yet. Everything looks great. There's no rubbing or hot spots or blood where a blister formed, and the sole looks pretty good. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with what Hilo has done here. I don't typically purchase shoes for the sustainability angle. That is a nice to have. They first and foremost have to perform, and these shoes perform. I think this is a great shoe and will be a great shoe for me in my daily training and my tempo and cruise workouts. I won't race in this shoe. I won't do speed workouts in this shoe, but I will wear this as my overall daily trainer until it has worn out. And the sustainability angle is even more interesting on top of that. Keeping the shoe out of the landfill, keeping all shoes out of the landfill, as well as the innovative way that they're sourcing their supplies is really interesting. It's a $165 shoe, so higher end in terms of trainers, but a lot of us are used to spending that for quality shoes that keep us moving on our feet injury free. So nice job, Hilo. It's a shoe you should definitely check out. Really cool sustainability story, along with a really good trainer for you to take a look at.